Welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Right now I am doing a pick a card reading, and this is just depicting a little bit of the energy we're going to be experiencing on this Virgo super full moon. Now, I don't always do specific readings for planetary changes or events, but I do feel like this one is going to be pretty substantial. The energy in the month of March is so substantial. It's so ripe for change and transformation. And as I've been saying for a while now, I think this is a time in our lives where the conjunction that we went through, the energy that we dealt with in December and January starts to manifest outwardly in our lives. So there was like intense internal changes. And now we're at a culmination period where we're ready to do the work. We're ready to start the projects. We're ready to make the changes and move towards a newer version of ourselves, which, is really the most important part to understand about this journey. This is all just a journey down a road to know ourselves better. And there's always the opportunity to sit in anger and to sit in resentment about things that happen in our lives, or there is an opportunity to reach an understanding and find forgiveness in your heart and soul so you don't have to carry those heavy burdens with you. It's always easier to move when there's less stuff to pack, right? The move is always, everybody wants to go on a really long vacation, but in the packing and preparation of a long vacation is sort of a pain in the ass. Whereas sometimes those impromptu road trips where you just throw a couple things in a bag and head out for a weekend, sometimes those are our most freeing events. And that's very much what this energy is like. It's like a last minute road trip. It's like for some, now it's going to play out differently in everyone's life. And that's why I've selected 3 piles. But I do quickly want to talk about what is happening in our sky right now and explain to you a little bit about the energy. So right now we're sitting in a Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus. And this is really a beautiful energy. It can be very, very disruptive, as Uranus often is extremely disruptive. It could be disruptive in a sudden, tragic, or even amazing event. Uranus can go both ways. So it could be something really horrible, or it could be something really beautiful. But the one thing you know for sure is that it's shocking and unexpected. And Venus talks to us about our self-worth, our money, and our love, and all of the things that make us feel good and wonderful. She rules our children, our creative projects. She rules gambling, sports. She rules beauty and healing. So when you take this Venus and you merge it with Uranus, knowing how strong Venus is, she's in her home sign of Taurus, right? This is her absolute best and highest functioning element. But still Uranus, which is a higher octave of Mercury, so keep in mind that we have major significant things happening with Mercury as well at the same time. So as much as Venus is really in her full Empress power, Uranus and Mercury are also at a very high octave, delivering some really important messages to you. And they are definitely messages of change and of clarity. Now, I'll tell you a funny story. Well, it's not really funny, but this is a very, very typical situation that would come from this kind of energy. And mind you, I am a Virgo, so of course there's always a struggle with perfection when you're a Virgo, always the people pleasing, and you can't let anyone down, you don't want to disappoint anyone. But then the Venus in Uranus kind of has to make you break out of your shell. So a couple days ago, a crown that I had on my tooth broke. Super embarrassing walking around with a cracked tooth, right? So immediately went to the dentist that same day thinking they could just, cement it back on, throw on something temporary, move on with my life. But it seems a little bit more complicated and there wasn't time, so I had to wait an entire day and a half to get in and get it replaced. But in the meantime, I sort of had to go out in life and face what to a Virgo is probably the most tragic event. Now, it's not, a front tooth or anything. There's ways to cover it up. And it's only a couple of days. But I feel that in this event, it's sort of the breaking up of, oh my God, what will people think? And this narrative that you build in your mind. And instead it was a very Uranus moment for me, because it was like, yeah, that's life. I don't give a shit. It happens to everybody. And there was something really freeing about feeling like that. And especially, with people close to me, allowing them to see me when I was less than perfect. It brought me closer to that vulnerability, and I've been talking about that in all of my readings for a while now, is the need to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And on top of the Venus-Uranus, the breaking out and the freedom, because Uranus demands freedom and Venus demands to feel good. So yes, there is an energy that can be very disruptive. It could make people want to break out of oppressive relationships and jobs and places where they're not happy. It could make for sudden moves, sudden travel, in the need to break free. Now, we're also under the impression of a pretty scary virus that's going through. So the full moon in Virgo tends to bring fear and anxiety. Full moon is a feeling of a culmination, a feel of desperation. It can, the full moons can bring intense emotions to the surface. That's why we always hear about really crazy or unusual things. Crime rates go up, more babies are born during the full moon. It is the culmination. It is the primal force that drives us to do the things that we do with the moon. And a moon in Virgo is pretty substantial. It's a super full moon, and it's kind of in its own area in the chart, and it's also hanging out with Regulus. So part of this coronavirus thing is the opposition of Regulus and Neptune at this time. And believe me, these are two very extremely slow-moving things, so this will go on for a long time, and this is just one of the ways that it happened to culminate in the timing along with that Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So what happens is Regulus and this Virgo full moon shines a light on people in our healthcare system as well as our health. Now, Neptune can rule plagues and health crises. It can rule infections and diseases, and absolutely. And Regulus shines a light on finding the answer in Virgo, on solving the problem, on, it can bring a lot of great strength, because Virgo exudes the strength to be and to solve, to sort and sift endlessly, to analyze, to break, to only accept the highest quality of things and throw the nonsense away. So in that opposition of the Virgo and the Pisces, there's emotions, and then there's the get to work and the doing. Virgos, although it's not exactly true, Virgos tend to come off as cold because they're very matter of fact, but they are not cold individuals at all. In fact, they are extremely empathic, and they are extremely healing. And sometimes the best thing I could say about a Virgo is they tend to know what you need before you know what you need, and they just do it. There's no wasting of the time with Virgo, although we can procrastinate. The idea is to just simply get it done. And so this moon can bring out the need to get to the bottom of whatever gray area we have been working with this Pisces energy, the sun conjunct Neptune and the moon conjunct Virgo. Now it could bring out a lot of vulnerability in the need to find the answers. It can bring out in its lowest forms extreme fear and anxiety. The lower qualities of Virgo energy is anxiety. It is, my very favorite astrologist, Anna Ortley, talks about it all the time, anticipatory anxiety. She did a reading for me, and she saw all of my Virgo placements, and she said, ooh, anticipatory anxiety. And I had like a breakthrough moment. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I had my entire life. It's the knowing that something is going to happen, and the way in which we worry about it. Pisces says, give it up to faith. Allow it to unfold naturally and surrender. Virgo says, get in there, do the work, prepare for all of the worst case scenarios. But so sometimes a Virgo can really create the worst case scenarios out of fear, out of those types of thoughts. With Venus in Taurus for the next month, you have to be really careful about your thoughts, because you are manifesting. Everyone here is in an extremely high level of manifestation mode. Mars in Capricorn, giving you that drive, that determination. Mercury is about to go direct. It's going to make you take a second look at the things that you've been dealing with this month, and we're going to close things up. The Virgo moon is going to give you, along with that Capricorn trining energy, it's going to give you the strength and the determination to get to the bottom of these issues and make the changes and the shifts in your life that have to occur. And if you are not ready to do that, Uranus is going to do that for you. And so this weekend is a culmination of a lot of emotions which are going to lead us into the direction, or show us all of the ways in which we're not ready to move into that next situation and transition time yet, because all of these things have to be done and taken care of first. So the energy is setting you up for your greatest success, and you just need to pay attention to where it tells you to proceed and where it tells you there's more work to be done. And you need to listen and make that work a focus, because we're coming up on Saturn moving into Aquarius. We're coming up on the spring equinox, the sun transferring over into Aries season, and we're getting dangerously close to a switch in the nodes, which brings on another eclipse season, and these feel very different in Gemini and Sagittarius. So a lot of energy about the future, very futuristic visions coming in, almost somewhat sci-fi in a way. Stepping into realms we're really not familiar with, and having to expand our minds to accept these possibilities. Now, if you look at the world right now, I was watching the news the other day, and they were talking about how Amazon is trying to move to 5-hour deliveries. You know, I think this is a point where humanity is starting to grasp the concept of manifestation, in the way that there is the need to have what you want and to have it right now. But with that kind of technology, with that changing of the way that we do such intimate things like shop and, because shopping and retail is really the way that we give us self-care, the way that we, you think about grocery shopping, a mom going out grocery shopping, this is a very Virgo thought. A mom going out grocery shopping, and it's actually a very intimate act, right? Like, we go to the store and we buy all of the things that our loved ones need. We pick up all their favorite foods. We're concerned about their health. We pick out the diapers for the baby and the lotion for the baby. And the things that we purchase are usually done with our heart. That's why it is ruled by Venus. And Venus, Uranus being in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, there's a lot of changes to the way that we do those core things. Like the shopping, there will eventually come a time where brick and mortar stores don't exist. And there is kind of the moving to almost like that Star Trek level, where you push a button and a meal just appears before you. The click of a button, and somebody brings you in an outfit to wear that night. So it's pretty spectacular. We're reaching things that were really only just in our wildest imaginations. But with that is a letting go of the old life, and the Neptune in Pisces allows us to surrender to the biggest dreams. But it could also leave us a little hazy and unsure. So let's get into this. I'm not going to make these readings really long-winded, because I think I accomplished that with explaining the energy that's going on. But I will, however, give you a second to meditate on the 3 different stones. Now, if you are driven to listen to all 3 of these, please do. There's probably a little bit of a message for everybody in all of them, or maybe just something you're meant to hear that strikes something in you, reminds you of something that a friend or a loved one's going through, and it prompts you to give them advice, or drop a seed that helps them. These things are very important. So whatever you're compelled to do at this time, just follow your gut and your intuition on it. One pile is a smoky quartz. These are all quartz crystals. I think quartz reminds me a lot of Virgo in the very cleanness of it, the protection that the quartz can bring. Smoky quartz is, it protects you from negative thoughts, which is really important at, a full moon in Virgo, which can cause you to really have negative thoughts, and you need to protect yourself from that. I have an amethyst quartz, which is really so beautiful. This is a very purple color, but if you look, there's also elements of green and the smokiness. So it just reminds me of the balancing of the chakras. And then I have a beautiful rose quartz, which could talk about love, about matters of the heart and Venusian themes. Okay, let's get started with pile number 1. First thing we're pulling here, Five of Swords, conflict energy, the Chariot in reverse, Two of Pentacles in reverse, and the Five of Wands. This talks to me of a great deal of conflict that you are experiencing, conflict and delays, and this is all indicative of blocks in manifestation, of building resistance. Overall energy in your card is the Emperor. So you are being compelled to take back control in these situations, to regain your strength over something that may have felt oppressive, as if it was causing you to be stuck in a certain energy. The Chariot in reverse tells me that there again is a lack of balance and an ability to move forward in a direction that you want to go. Now, if this is a job, you could be dealing with some issues of maybe feeling inadequate, unprepared. You know, the Five of Swords sometimes talks to me about where there's feelings or thoughts in your head of inadequacy. It's absolutely negative self-talk, the Wands in the 5th house. And that is what's blocking movement. And by the blocking of the movement, there's a feeling that you have to juggle a whole lot of different things. You know, maybe there's a leaving of a relationship, and maybe at the same time the stepping into another. Same as a job. You could be starting your own business, but still having to work full-time at another one. And the juggling is what actually brings this to a culmination. The juggling of the two situations comes to a head, and you're not able to do that anymore. And there's a strength that comes in the Five of Wands. You know, in times of strife and conflict, we tend to get a real clear idea of what we do want and what we don't want, and we are provoked by some situation in order to fight for the things that we do want. Yod, card of destiny, 2nd house, the owning. So yeah, again, this conflict leads you into a situation which is, it is very much the universe moving you in the direction that you're meant to go in. Yod is destiny, but yods are not easy. It's a culmination of different energies, the different planets and the placements that come together. The Yod is a finger of God. It forms a triangle in your chart. So it definitely leads you to this direction, but the angles are not harmonious. So there's strife and conflict that you have to move through, but it is empowering because by having to work so hard and to work from a place of, you know, pure heart and determination. Again, Mars and Capricorn energy here. And the 2nd house tells me that it is something that you very much want, something you feel like you deserve, something you feel like you have earned. It is something extremely significant, again leading me to believe this may possibly be a job offer. It can also be a relationship. And this is beautiful. You got the card of transformation. This is your Work Your Light Tarot. Card of transformation. There's a knowing with her, right? There's a spark, an ingenuity. This is very Uranian to me. An idea that comes in, a sense that I can handle this. It's a sense that I'm being guided by my intuition. And it says things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. It is in the conflict and the strife that you reach decisions. And sometimes the adversity has to be really hard so that you know what your heart truly wants and you make that decision with ease and determination. And again, along the lines of transformation, you got the card of Scorpio. Let me read that to you really quick, because I often find there's messages in the wording of these specific cards. Sometimes it is a lot more about the wording of the cards than it is about the energy behind the animals. So let's check it out, and whatever it speaks to you is quite honestly very meant for you. Scorpio, passionate, competitive, tends toward isolation. The Scorpion is a passionate and determined creature. Their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends. Sometimes the Scorpion's heat festers and they focus on an unresolved event from the past, usually a situation where they were left feeling burned. The Scorpion card says it's time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usual fiery but fun self. When in balance, wild and free and fierce. When out of balance, jealous, resentful, and unresolved. To bring into balance, honesty and forgiveness. Yes, all about removing the blocks so that you can move forward. That was a really beautiful reading. Okay, moving on to pile number 2, the Tower Quartz. Wow. Well, this is absolutely about standing in your power, being abundant, following your intuition, attracting and creating. There's so much balance here and so much potential. This is really an outstanding reading. First card out, Judgment. That tells me that whatever situation you're in, whatever area of life that we're dealing with, you are being divinely guided at this time. The universe is unfolding and allowing things to happen for you. And so all you need to do is have faith. 2 of Swords. Follow your intuition. Use very clean and positive thoughts at this time. Again, more energy of being intuitively guided. Just the idea of having faith. Knowing that the outside circumstances do not determine the future, and that the past doesn't determine the future. And this is really gaining control and clarity of your thoughts and how you allow them to affect your life. 9 of Pentacles, this is someone who is very independent, somebody who's very much in their power and their balance, and this is very Venusian, so this is somebody that knows how to attract the things that they want and need with ease. There's a feminine stability and balance, and the knowing that you are all that you need, that you've got you. And the Emperor means that you're in an area of control in which you can become a leader, a prominent figure, gaining control in situations and knowing that you've got this. You've got the situation. Let's take a look. Overall energy is the universe. So this is a tremendous change, and it could be quite sudden. And I'm feeling like it's very lucky. A lucky break. This is something that by changing the way that your thoughts work for you in the manifesting, and there's something very karmic that's happening for you. Oh, absolutely. Look at this. Jupiter, 9th house, abundance. 9th house, faith. Oh my God, could this reading be any clearer? You're doing exactly what you need to do. You've done the internal work. Your thoughts are clean and pure. You're in a place in which you love yourself first, which is where everything begins. You have control, you have pride, you have confidence in yourself, and you have the divine behind you. Honestly, there's nothing you could do now to mess this up. It's all happening for you, and all you need to do is to focus on that gratitude. Keep the thoughts pure, keep the manifestations pure. You know, guys, important to focus on the emotion of what you want and not the specific details and outcomes. Have faith that the universe knows exactly what you want, and they know better than you and how to give it to you. Sometimes we sell ourselves short. And by correcting that behavior, by getting rid of the self-limiting beliefs, oh, I want $1 million, but I don't really believe I deserve it, so can I just pay this one bill? Can I get that extra $5 to pay that one bill? You know, it's the stopping of thinking small and allowing yourself to think really, really big. You're already doing it. You're already doing it. There's such a surrendering. She followed the light. You know, she allowed herself to surrender all of the darkness and the negativity and to just move to the light. And the thought processes really are a choice. Do you want to focus on the good? Do you want to be grateful for all the wonderful things that happen to you throughout the day? Like when you're in a hurry and you realize you've hit all green lights and you know that the universe is helping you. When you ask for a sign and you get that sign, you know, you focus on that gratitude, and the universe has no choice but to continue to bring you things that you will be grateful for. And your energy card is a swan. Oh my God. So maybe this was something that you struggled with for a long time, and somehow the universe is going to bring you a certain circumstance. Like I said, things are happening in the 3D now. They're taking form in 3D. So we're starting to see the wins and the losses in what we've worked really hard to do. This is all about the faith and the surrendering. The knowing that you deserve so much. The knowing that your love and care for others is going to come back to you as well. You know, Judgment card is very much karmic. So if you feel like you've invested a lot of love into a situation, that love may be returned to you at this time. Swan, effortless creativity, sensitive mystic, and elegant power. The swan represents heightened creativity. In Hindu mythology, the goddess Saraswati, I'm sure I butchered that, the embodiment of language, creativity, and artistry, rides on the back of this graceful creature. The swan is ready to take us there, to the fluid realm of writing, creating, and reflecting. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention, for solo time. An inner voice is waiting to be heard, an inner vision likely to be revealed. When in balance, infinite creature, creative power. When out of balance, agitated, snippy, and lacking vision. To bring into balance solo time and writing. So this is a reminder that we manifest best in the creativity, in the situations that we love. There's not a lot of energy coming here from other people. There's not a lot of swords and swans. There's a lot of major arcana. If you see, there's guides working with you, but you're standing really in this strength, authenticity, in your own power. These are your dreams and they're intimate to you, and I feel like you're not allowing other people's opinions, needs, or wants or desires for you to disturb or block what you truly want and deserve. That's a beautiful reading. And for the final card, pile number 3, Rose Quartz. Knight of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, 7 of Wands. 7 always talk to me about spiritual strength. Knight of Pentacles, this could be a situation in which you see Knight of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, amazing potential. But Knight of Pentacles moves so slow and so methodically that at times it could come out cold. It could be movement so slow that you start to think that if this is another person or a situation, that there's not passion and drive for it. It's like the dating somebody for 10 years and they never want to truly commit, and you begin to question whether they love you in the first place. It certainly does not indicate that there is a lack of love here, but there is a focus on the need to be very careful and methodical in approaching what looks to be like something you see as the ultimate future, the ultimate dream, the coming together of all of the elements. It is, the happy relationship, the fulfilling job, the abundance, the happy home, the ability to participate in, it's the comforts in life. They have dogs here, they have small children, they have extended family. There's everything here that you could possibly want and dream of, and there's very slow movement towards it. Now it's followed up by the Page of Swords. So it's the beginnings of a vision, 7 of Wands, that early vision, that twinkle, that idea that may come to you quickly. There is a clarity, a conversation of clarity that occurs here or needs to be had. And whatever message or conversation that happens, I feel like either it could cause you to need to protect yourself, or it could give you the strength to truly fight for what you want here. Let's clarify. Let's take a look at the overall energy. Oh, the sun, happiness. This is all about finding that direction that you want to go in, and it's all about the fulfillment of the soul. It's about situations that fulfill you on all of the levels. And I think maybe you're in that situation now and you're moving towards it. And now is a really critical time where you have to allow yourself to express yourself. You know, the Page of Swords, it could be immature communication, especially if it's in reverse, but this one is upright, so I'm seeing it being conversation in which you have to express yourself authentically and innocently. There's innocence and honesty in this Page of Swords, I feel. And that you have to drop the need to protect yourself at this time. The conversation needs to be had to determine that everyone is moving in the same direction, everyone is in the same boat, and we're all working towards the same thing. And you can't approach that conversation in the need to defend yourself. You need to take down the walls at this time. South Node, life, deaths, third house messages. So this is talking about having to have a conversation which you have to drop all of the baggage from your past and the way that life has unfolded so far. You have to let that go. You have to come at the situation with forgiveness. The Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Okay. You know, I'm also getting a sense that you are very much headed towards something that is destined for you. It is something from a past life. Now, be it a gift, you know, it could be a gift of clairvoyance, gifts that are coming to you that you've had for many lifetimes, or a person, a soulmate that comes to you again in this lifetime that you feel like you've known forever, and you feel guided to follow through on this, but there needs to be conversations and communication and the opening to allow the true benefits to come through. And yes, absolutely, because you got the golden egg. Now that's a cosmic card. Oh my God, and I turned right to the page. Golden egg, message at the center of the heart, the unstruck sound. Within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard, nor the message discerned, until we retreat from the noise of modern day life. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth, quiet, and time to unfold. No rushing, pushing, or grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga or meditation. If you do not yet have a meditation practice, some time for introspection or contemplation. When the mind begins to settle and the breath is calm, ask the question that weighs heaviest on your heart, staying open to any response you hear. Engaging with the energy of the golden egg as an advanced practice. It requires becoming intimate with our very essence and comfortable with vulnerability. When a feeling of tenderness or gratitude arises from deep within you, know that you are well on your way. Your chest may swell. You are seeing an old friend that's been away for a long time. Listen to the message they've been waiting to tell you. I really feel this is very much about love, especially being the rose quartz. I feel like even if it's not just clarification, not just communication between you, but it is also within yourself. You know what you're moving towards, and I think you know it's really big. And I think that Page of Wands is the vision, the potential of what it really and truly can be, and the drive, the balance, and the way that you're carrying yourself towards this is really solid. You're being guided by your intuition, and you're being guided by what you truly, truly want in your heart. There's, if you notice, the pentacles, the swords, the wands, the sun. So this is really the putting together the vision, coming together with the 3D realm of things, of putting the pieces together, the communication, the thoughts, the vision, the wanting. It is, there is stability, there is creativity, and there is a vision of the future. So it holds all of the keys that it needs, and all you need to do is allow and follow it to unfold. And you have to be very clean in your thought processes with this as well. Remember, I said that manifestation is ripe right now, and that Virgo moon might pull you to go into negative thought processes. And you need to protect yourself from that, and you need to believe in this. Believe, go within, know that what your soul has been pulling you towards for a long time is truly meant for you, and that it will come to you with ease when you know that you deserve it and you allow it to come. All right, guys, I will be checking in soon with the mid-months. We'll be going through the energy that March is closing out with, and I'm very excited to go through that with you. I wish you guys all so much love, and I know that you're going to get through this full moon really good. You're going to focus on the right things, you're going to manifest the right ways, and you're not going to give in to the anxiety. You're going to care for yourself. All right, best of luck, guys. Love you. Bye.